JWT tokens are a powerful way to protect files such as images from being requested when you don't want them to. A JWT token has an expiry date, and after that date the image will not be returned. This token expired in early January 2022, so it has passed, and if we try to remove the token from the image and just grab the image in any form, we are not allowed to. It returns a 403. You can only request this image if you have a valid token, such as this one, which won't expire until 2051, and you can see that the image is served. So how do we create these tokens to be used automatically on a large website with constantly changing images? Well, you would use one of the JWT libraries on your server to generate the tokens. And there are libraries for .NET, for Java, JavaScript, PHP, ASP. But in this tutorial, we're going to take a look at one of the Python libraries. This one is called pyjwt. You can install it by following the documentation. We already have it installed today, so we're just going to take a look at the docs so you can see where you would go for this. So this is all done and in place, and we're going to go and take a look at the script that we've written, which is that one there. This is the script. We're going to import some dependencies, and then we are going to add the key, which is a unique key that was provided by the Sirv team. You'll need one of those, and this can be recycled. You can delete your key and get a new one at any time. But this is a very important, essential requirement. The expiry date of the token, which here we're using the international time plus 100 seconds, so 100 seconds from now. And the audience, this particular setup will allow any audience at all in your server account. It's just slash. We'll take a look later at how to make that audience tighter. Finally, we could add some parameters, some parameters which we would permit the user to change, and some parameters which are going to be secure, and we're not going to allow them to change. So some text of hello will be fixed on the image and irremovable. And some colorization is going to happen. Finally, this will be the output of the generation of the key itself in HS256, and we're going to show it. We're going to print out the URL of an image with the key to make it easy to test. So let's go back to our console and run that script. It's generated this URL, and there's our image. You can see that as this is an insecure parameter, we're allowed to change it to, say, 100 pixels wide, or maybe 900 pixels wide, and we could even add other options as well. We're going to, that was an error, it was a 000, which is unlimited, so we got the full size image back, and we're going to put in here h equals 300 for height, because that is one of the other allowed parameters. So scaling is still possible, but we couldn't remove that text no matter how hard we tried, and we couldn't change the colorization because those were protected. So let's go back and just change this. We'll now change the request to example.jpg. So this audience is now only going to be usable on that particular image. So let's now generate this token. There it is, and it's been forbidden. But we happen to have an image called example.jpg, and we can use that token for that image because it's been restricted to that specific audience. And we can also change the audience to something more restrictive than we had originally, but not as restrictive as a specific file. Let's say everything, any file or folder beginning with E. So we'll save that and run our script. Here's the example. It was forbidden on the converse image because that begins with C, and now it's going to work with the example image. If we could spell it correctly. there it is. So that's how to adjust the audience. And let's go back now to our original image that we created. Now this token will have expired by now. So if we refresh this page, we get a 403 because it had a 100-second expiry. It's gone. So no matter who has that URL, they can no longer see it unless they get a new valid token. And to help you understand while you're building why you got a 403 error, it's possible to refresh the page, go to the network tab in the browser console, hit the image which failed, and take a look at the headers, and you'll see a reason for the 403. In this case, EXP claim expired, and it gives you the date and the exact time which it expired. So there are different messages for different failures. So if you are getting 403s which you're not expecting, take a look at the headers to help you debug the issue. Let's have one final look back at the script that we had. The expiry is the only essential requirement. You must always add an expiry when you're generating a token. The audience is optional. It could be done without having an audience. And secure parameters and these parameters are also optional. You don't need to have them. But you must have an expiry. So that is how to build out your URLs if you're using Python. It's a very similar approach if you were to use one of the other libraries, the JWT libraries. If you need any support using JWT keys and tokens, just contact the Sirv team and we'll be able to help.